Okay, I think I'm on. All right, let's see how dirty my desk is. I'm going live to answer your questions. I want to go ahead and share this really quick, so give me a second. If you're on, make sure you let me know that you're on, so I know I'm not talking to myself. And if you have questions, let me know. I have 3 big questions that I got in different iterations this week, so I figured they were the big ones. So let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and share this 1 second in the group. And again, if you're on, say hi so I know that you're here. I'm not talking to myself. And if you catch the replay, make sure you hashtag replay. Facebook message, go away. I love you, I'll talk to you later. Okay, sorry. Let's see, I'm sharing this on my group. Secrets, effortless business, answering questions live. Yes, I talk while I type. So I have 3 big questions, and I wanted to answer those as the best of my ability. If there's any other things that you come up with as we're talking, let me know. In the meantime, let's get started because I do have an 8 o'clock call. All right, so first thing I got questions on is pricing. How do you figure out your pricing? And this is really distracting, I'm sure. So how do you figure out your pricing? So being in business is your pricing is going to evolve over time. You're obviously going to charge more the more you know about your business, the more you know about your clients, the better you are, the more confident you are. But also let's talk about hard numbers. Until you know how much time it takes you to do something, it is totally, absolutely okay to charge by the hour. I want you to be super clear on your numbers and understand exactly what things cost before you try to get fancy and start getting all these package pricings. Until you know exactly what it takes to do something, how much a client costs you, time and money wise, okay? I know I mentioned earlier this week about my spreadsheet. If you don't have it, let me know. I'm just sending you the link and you can make a copy of it and you can play with it. I don't want to see your numbers. Not that I don't care, but these numbers are for you. It's not so that you can say the calculator is going to spit out a certain number and that's what you need to charge. It's to help you understand what goes into your pricing before you start spitting out numbers. Because I know a lot of times we try to say, oh, $100 sounds great per hour, or $400 per hour sounds great. You need to understand how those numbers play into your business before you can start charging things, okay? So you need to figure out what you want to pay yourself. At the end of the day, what you charge your clients is not what you pay yourself. I'm an S Corp, I pay myself payroll, and I pay myself a certain dollar per hour. That's after everything else gets paid, but I also build that into my pricing, okay? So you wanna make sure that you know that what you're gonna pay yourself. Either whether you're payrolling yourself or not, act like you're an employee and that you're going to pay yourself a living wage. And I mean a living wage, not $5 an hour. Because you start backing up the calculator, if you start going in backwards with a number, say $100, and you just start trying to, reverse engineer a price point off of that $100, you're gonna realize that you're probably paying yourself like $5 per month, okay? Then you wanna make sure you pay your taxes. What is your effective tax rate for if you were going to payroll yourself, or if you do payroll yourself, what are your employer taxes? How much does it cost you as an employer to pay yourself that livable dollar rate per hour, okay? You also have to pay, most states you have to pay income taxes. Make sure that you are building that into your pricing. So on top of your hourly rate, you have your payroll taxes and you have your personal taxes, or your business taxes, or whatever it looks like. Make sure that you're paying the government what you're supposed to pay them. After you pay yourself and you pay the government, you need to start paying your opportunity costs. I have children. If I need to wait with people when my kids are not asleep, or when they're not at school, then I have to pay opportunity costs. I have to pay a babysitter. If you have to leave your house and you have to have a dog walker walk your dog, that is an opportunity cost. So for every hour or hour and a half that you work with a client, how much does it cost you to have individual one-on-one time with them? Okay, so build that into your hourly cost. If it takes you an hour to work with a client and it costs you an hour's worth of opportunity cost, build that into your pricing, because you want to make sure that you're able to cover all of your overhead, business or not, because taxes are business taxes and overhead's overhead, regardless of whether it's business or not. Okay, so you're making sure you're paying yourself, your taxes, and your opportunity cost. Once you paid your opportunity cost, you need to figure out how many hours you're planning on working per month, paid hours, and what your overhead is. How much does it cost you to have all your subscriptions? How much does it cost you to turn on lights in your office? Do you have an office? Do you have to pay for that office? Have all those numbers and understand how much it costs you per month to run your business. I know exactly what that costs me per month. The number very rarely changes unless I buy a bunch of stuff per month, 1 month, and then I have to average it all out. But if it's, a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 per month, build that overhead in and divide it by the number of hours that you're actually able to charge per month, and add that on top of your hourly rate, your taxes, your opportunity costs. Now your overhead has to be covered. Once all of those are covered, you need to make sure that you have a profit for your business. If you are a shareholder, if you and your dog are a shareholder, you and your mom, whoever you and your shareholders are, you should have a profit for them after you paid everybody. You paid yourself, you paid any of your team members, you paid all of your taxes, you paid your overhead, you paid your opportunity costs. There should still be profit in your business. If there's not, you need to look at your numbers, okay? So that's how you price. Once you have that hourly rate down and you know how much things cost, then you can start package pricing based on an hour's estimation and build in some of that, pricing for value and pricing for results and all those other things. But make sure when you're pricing for value and results that you're also taking into account what it costs you to be you, to show up and to run your business and have a profitable business, okay? So I really want you, if you don't have a spreadsheet, it's okay, you can work on this bunch of different calculators, cost of doing business calculator. Make sure that you're really covering your costs when you're pricing things out, because you will be happier to work with your clients, it'll be easier to work with your clients, and you will feel like you're actually making a living wage and running a business and not just a hobby, okay? So pricing, start out, understand your numbers, understand the hourly costs, and then you can start building your packages once you understand exactly how much it costs you to run your business, okay? Second piece, let's talk about the sales process. I've had a couple of different people ask me about the sales process and how to understand it, and sales is an art. I've been in business for 7 years and I'm still learning sales, because when I was in sales, back a long time ago in 2005, 2007, I was in sales. I worked for a plumbing and appliance company, but I was in the showroom. I did wholesale appliances, but I did high end. So I did like Wolf and Sub-Zero, things like that, and high end expensive toilets. I used to sell Toto toilets. So there is a sales process, and there's an understanding of the art of sales. I was not a high pressure salesperson. I led with experience and expertise. That's what I talked about. That's how I worked with my clients, and I had a lot of repeat clients, especially builders, who came to me and basically handed me their drawings, their blueprints, and said, pick out stuff for my house and send me a bill and ship it when I need it, okay? So I had a very easy foray into sales because I worked with what I knew, which was understanding the client's needs and giving them exactly what they wanted, and making sure that I was really educated in what I was doing. So that's kind of my sales tactic. Everybody has their own sales tactic, but you want to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're marketing to your clients from a place of expertise and knowing what you're offering them and what solutions that you're offering them, what benefits you're offering them. I can talk today. You want to make sure that you're really going to them and telling them exactly, you're identifying their pain points and offering solutions for those pain points. That's all sales is, and how you present that information and how you follow up with that information, all that stuff. Just think about it like dating. Okay, when you go out and you're on Match.com. I actually met my husband on Match.com a long time ago. When you're on Match.com, you are you're talking to people are interacting with you, but you don't go from having somebody like poke you or wink at you or whatever they did back in the day, and then immediately say, let's get married. Or you don't go from, somebody emailing you to saying, okay, I would like to have your children now. You go from the point of someone connecting with you, and then you have this banter back and forth, and you build a relationship, and you go step by step. So when you're in the sales process with somebody, you're first talking with them, they might reach out to you and say, I might want a little bit more information from you. They may not want to know like exactly how to work with you, but they like to know like where they can check you out or get more information from you. I like to call this like the first coffee, right? So you want to make sure that you have like the first coffee with them, and you may not actually like exchange information yet. You might meet them at Starbucks and say, hey, you're pretty cool. Let me know how to get you, contact you on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Once you start connecting with each other on a social media site, then you go into the point where they say, okay, let's connect on a more personal level. What's your phone number? What's your email address? Whatever they do nowadays, hopefully. And then, so that is when people like opt in for maybe a marketing piece or opt into your mailing list. And then you nurture that relationship. You might have some text back and forth. You might connect more often, but you really haven't committed to the next step, which is having drinks together or having dinner together. So that's kind of how you start with people. They want to like you, they might want to know you a little bit more, they might want to trust you. Then they'll exchange some information, get on your mailing list. Once they get on your mailing list, eventually you have enough banter back and forth that they actually opt in to actually talking to you and wanting real information from you, want to know what the next steps are. And that's when they get into what I would call a qualified lead. Once they're a qualified lead, then you might go out to dinner with each other and talk about, what your goals are and what you're looking for in a relationship. And then you go on your separate ways, and then you think about it, and then they say, hey, let's, go out some more or whatever. You want to make sure that when you are working with people or you're trying to attract clients, that you're not jumping too many steps. It's okay from going from, coffee at Starbucks to drinks, or maybe from drinks to like hanging out a little bit more, but it's not okay to go from meeting at Starbucks to proposing marriage. So always think about how to foster that relationship. I know that it's a long-term relationship. You're not going to get married on the first date. I'm sure it happens, but that's not how most clients work with you. They may not actually surface until they're ready to work with you, but they know about you. You've been on their radar for months. You might be on their, vision board of what they want for their business or for their life. You might be in their head, but they're not ready to work with you yet, and that's okay. So trying to push them into working with you when they're not ready, not going to happen. So really think about the sales process and really think about what steps along the way that you want to guide them through to getting from, oh, I heard about this person, to I actually want to work with this person. Really think about that sales process, and don't worry about the quick wins, the quick buy-ins. You really want that relationship first, and you want to make sure that you're fostering a relationship that makes sense, that is not from 0 to 100 in like 5 seconds flat, okay? And then the last question I had tonight, if no one else has any questions, is what should I start with first if I'm trying to systemize my business? You cannot systemize your business. You can't shove it in a box. You can't put it in Dubsado or any other program until you know your business like the back of your hand. Okay, you have to know your business. And the first thing I want to say, you want to make sure that you know your prices. We go back to the spreadsheet. You want to make sure you know exactly what your prices are, exactly what levels there are to work with you. Get a really clear picture of your pricing so that when somebody says, hey, you sound great, how much do you cost? You're not bringing out charts and your calculator and anything like that. You're able to say succinctly how much it costs to work with you. Because at the end of the day, most people need to know if you're in their budget or not. Okay? So always make sure that you know what your prices are, how they work together, how different levels of working with you look like. Know exactly what it costs, and know very succinctly what it is like to work with you. Know exactly what they're going to get from you. Know all those basic, the post-its, knowing who you are, what you do, and why they should work with you. If you don't know that information, do not worry about putting your systems in place. Don't worry about trying to get all your proposals in place. If you don't know what your proposals are, you don't need them, okay? Figure out what it looks like to work with you, what the path is to work with you, and how much it costs, okay? Once you know exactly what it is to commit to working with you, know what the process looks like once people say yes. need to know exactly, once they say yes, how do they onboard, how do they get paid, you know, not how do you get paid, because you already got paid probably, what does it look like to work with you, the onboarding stage, how many touches you get, all those different things, what the deliverables look like. Make sure that you have a really clear process of what it looks like to work with you from start to finish, so that it helps you with that sales process. It helps you when you're trying to build out systems, but it also helps people to say yes to you because they know exactly what it looks like to work with you. They're not confused the entire time. They're not asking a zillion questions. They really know from start to finish what it's like to work with you. So you need to know exactly what it costs and how it works to say yes to you, and then what the process is once they say yes. Once they say yes, then you can worry about the automation and all of the different systems that you can put in place. So if you don't know the front end of your business and what people need to know in order to book with you, there's no business doing any automation, any systems, anything, because people are probably not able to say yes because they're just completely confused as to what it looks like to work with you, and they're also just not sure if you know what your business is. So always know what your prices are and your processes before you worry about automation. Once you have that in place, worry about how to manage your business, because if you have automation in place, you're going to get more business, okay? And then once you have that in place, then you can worry about marketing, because if you market and you get a whole bunch of yeses all at once and you have no system to mess with them, to process them properly and to make people happy, everything's going to fall apart. So make sure you have your prices, your process, your automation, your management, and then your marketing, okay? All those pieces need to be in place in that order. If you want your business to be successful, if you want your business to grow and scale it, the way you want it to be, and also just to make your life, make your business easy to run, make it effortless to run. If you need help figuring out all those pieces and understanding how to properly lay out your business for systems and organization and to make it effortless, check out my systems bootcamp. I think it will be life-changing for you. Your business will run so much more efficiently because you know what you're doing, your clients know what you're doing, and it's able to deploy on its own. So if you are ready to move forward with your business, growing it and scaling it in the way that you want it to be, definitely check out the Systems Bootcamp. I will drop it in the link in the video. Again, so those are all the questions that they kind of all came, very similar questions came to me, so I wanted to make sure I answered to the best of my ability. So we talked about pricing today, what the sales process is like, and then also what steps you need to take to put your business in place and put systems in place. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope you guys have had a great time listening to me, because I love talking, obviously. But again, if you have any questions, let me know. You can always message me. You can also comment on this video. Make sure you tag me so I don't miss your comments, because sometimes I miss comments. But anyway, have a great evening, have a great weekend, and again, just make sure that you're working and being smart about your business and making your business effortless, because it should be. It should be fun. It should be exciting to come to business every day, and it should be excited to be to work every day. And I mean, you left the 9 to 5 for a reason. You decided to go out on your own for a reason. Why shouldn't it be exciting? Why shouldn't it be fun? And why shouldn't you not be so stressed about your business? Just make it fun, make it effortless, and make it easy. So have a great evening. I will talk to you guys soon.